Hi guys, I'm Matt. So, recently I watched this film, Clash of the Titans, and they were talking about an eclipse and that something will happen. If they do, they'll eat the queen or something. But anyway, and I thought to myself, well, I've never seen an eclipse. I mean, there was one when I was like 7, but because I was so young and I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna go play with my Lego, and I didn't really care. And now I feel like I'm really missing out because, well, it's a pretty big event, and I know they happen all the time, but I'm not going to China just to see the sun disappear for a few seconds. So I thought, well, I'll make one myself, and I did. And I posted a link to the one I made in the on my blog. You can go to it if you want. I'll post a link in the description. And now I thought, well, it's kind of the time to show you guys how to make your own if you feel like you're missing out too. Okay, so let's go to Photoshop and start making our eclipse. Go to File, New, yeah, make a new document. I'm making mine the size of my screen resolution, which is 1440 by 90. And the background, I'm going to make it white. Hit OK. Now in your color palette, make sure you have the foreground to black and the background to white. Go to Filter, Render, Fibers. Now make the top number 16 and the strength 4. Now hit OK. And we get these fibers. Now go to Filter again, Blur, and then Motion Blur. Make sure your angle is on 0 degrees and your distance to about 100. Now hit OK. And we'll get this really cool texture. Now let's duplicate the layer, because as you see we have these ends that don't really look very well. And we're going to stretch it out. Hit Alt and just stretch the sides. Hit Enter. Shift Control E to merge visible. And let's crop it. And hit OK. Okay, so now we have the texture made. Let's make a new document. Go to File, New. Make it the same size as the previous one. Now color that in black. Take your elliptical marquee tool and now drag out a circle. Now make sure to select, to hold shift as you're doing it to keep the proportions. And make it about this size and put it somewhere in the middle. Now there we go. Now make a new layer and color that in black as well. Control D to deselect. Make sure you have your circle layer selected. Go to Effects, Outer Glow, and let's add a little glow to it. Make the spread about 6, and the size to about 190 to give it a nice big outer glow. Now go to Inner Glow and make the size of that about 10 and click OK. Now what we want to do is, with your circle layer selected, go to Filter, Stylize, and Wind, and if we drag that to the side, we get this really cool effect. I'm not sure how to describe it, but anyway, let's make one from the right. Make sure you have the method selected to Wind, and click OK. Now let's go back to Filter, Stylize, Wind, this time from the left, hit OK. And now let's take our Move tool and rotate it 90 degrees. There we go. Hold Shift to make sure it's at 90 degrees, then it kind of snaps into it. Hit Enter. And again go to Filter, Stylize, Wind, and go from the right again. And click OK. So now it looks like the light is kind of shining through our moon or whatever you want to call it. And now let's rotate it so that the bit without the wind effects is right about there, and click Enter. So we're almost done here. Now what we have to do is duplicate this layer, make a new layer, a blank one, take those two and merge them together. Now hide the one below, take our new made layer, add a mask to it. Now In your fill tool, if you hold it and if you press and hold it, you get the gradient tool as well. Let's select that. Make sure you have it selected to go from black to white. And let's put a gradient on it. And make sure you have your mask layer selected. And let's just put a gradient to it. And I'm sorry, around there. So it looks like the light is penetrating a bit, but it stops just around there. Now, let's go back to our texture layer that we just made and drag that onto our new document. Now hide that. Align it. And select the blending mode to soft light. And as you see, we get this really cool kind of clouds almost effect. Not sure how to describe it. I think it just adds a little bit of a nice kind of a touch to the image. And you can mess around with the blending options. If that one doesn't really seem right, you can maybe go, no, not hard light, definitely not. Overlay maybe. I'll go for soft light. You can change it if you want. Okay, so the almost last thing we have to do is put a lens flare in it. And because the lens flare needs a whole layer, we're going to have to take our circle tool, hit Control, and select a background, duplicate those layers, and merge them together. Now go to Filter, Render, and then Lens Flare. Now, select the 105mm prime lens flare and make the brightness about 75% and put the lens flare in the top right corner and hit OK. So we get this really cool, almost as if the light is going through our moon, and we get this really realistic lens flare. But we also get these purples and greens and yellows. Personally, I don't really like it. So what we can do is go to Image, Adjustments, and then desaturate it. And now what we can do is go to make a new adjustment layer, go to Hue and Saturation, Colorize, and make it whatever color you want. Today I'm going to go for kind of a violet, maybe around there, and make it around that saturation. So here it is, our very own Eclipse. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you did, thumbs up. If you like this one, I'm sure you like my other videos. So see my channel, subscribe if you like the other videos. You can also go to my blog. I post a lot of new stuff. There's some things that I don't post on YouTube. So I got this wallpaper, I've got some other wallpapers, some other tutorials like how to change eye color, some tech news, stuff like that. So I hope you enjoyed it. Again, I'm Matt. See you guys next time.